This video explores work on critical thinking. The article from Mind, Brain and Education explains what will actually trigger someone to think critically in everyday life. Critical thinking, hereby CT, enables individuals to make good decisions in their lives, thereby improving their quality of life. CT is also attributed with successful final exam scores in students and avoiding negative life events in adults. While CT reduces the risk of mistakes in making decisions, it will not eliminate the risk. The ability to think critically is a prerequisite to act, not the act itself. Acting on CT is a practice. CT practice is different to CT disposition, which is the tendency or habit, and also does not ensure CT will be acted upon. The authors refer to several definitions without substantially endorsing any of them. Each definition raises the idea of aspects to CT that are needed in dynamic degrees for CT to occur. These aspects of skills can be improved and mastered. CT is not only about skills, but also dispositions to recognise when the skills are needed and willingness to apply them. Even though someone masters CT skills, it takes a disposition to move their CT skills into practice. CT disposition is the tendency or habit to use some CT skills. The disposition word is generally perceived as a tendency that is given, does not change in one individual, and can differ between individuals. However, in the context of CT dispositions, these aspects of disposition can be developed through changes in the environment or the existence of special programs. This article suggests two directions in discussing the knowledge of facts. First, knowledge is needed to think critically. Without extensive knowledge, the results of thinking activity are not considered good and critical. Second, knowledge needs to have conflict or ambiguity to trigger CT. Without this conflict or ambiguity, existing knowledge will not be processed further critically. A couple of models are presented. The authors later present their own model built on and versus these, so I'll not spend time on them. You're welcome to pause if you'd like to read about them. Instead of adopting one of the previous models, the authors looked for a more comprehensive approach to answer the question of what makes a person think critically every day. The model the authors present is of a relationship between each component. CT skills and dispositions combine to arouse a conflict detection, which then use thinkers' CT practices. I'll go through each stage over the following slides. The table pairs disposition aspects with the stages of the CT process. To be able to recognise more than one assumption, the openness of mind is needed. Assumptions will also appear if there is sufficient attention to the problem at hand. The process of doubting assumptions can only be performed when individuals do reflective thoughts. In addition to the reflection that covers all stages of doubting assumptions, inquisitiveness, truth-seeking, and skepticism, it also supports the emergence of doubts about assumptions that appear in the first stage. To be able to carry out analysis, interpretation, and evaluation, additional knowledge is needed beyond the assumptions that have emerged. To find additional knowledge, it is important to have dispositions of resourcefulness and perseverance. Laziness is the cause of critical failure rather than thinking bias. This laziness is contrary to the disposition of the intrinsic goal orientation. Disposition organisation is needed to make various information regularly to facilitate analysis, interpretation, and evaluation. CT self-efficacy disposition is not included at any stage in this CT process. Self-efficacy is a disposition that is comprehensive in nature and functions in all stages. However, self-efficacy is expected to be very much needed in the second stage to doubt the assumption. Someone needs to have high self-efficacy in order to raise doubts firmly. People with low self-efficacy think critically, do not dare to risk doubting their own assumptions, and tend to stick with the initial assumptions without criticizing. There are two ways we can end up thinking critically. In the first pathway, the trigger is the subjective perception of the importance of good thinking. If doing thinking critically will give advantages, then CT is more likely to occur. The advantages could be tangible or intangible. If the person perceived the situation will not give enough advantages, then the second pathway will arise. In this situation, the practice will still occur if the person has strong disposition of inquisitiveness, truth-seeking, skepticism, and reflection. While challenging to develop learning programs, such CT programs can be expected to produce school graduates who are ready to think critically in various settings, not only in the context of education. Since knowledge is vital to triggering CT through conflict, stored knowledge must be valued compared to knowledge at your fingertips via internet searches. Recognizing what students know and assume to be true can be a valuable step in the classroom for the sake of emphasizing when doubts arise about veracity and hopefully assisting to trigger the CT process. Educators can advocate for stored knowledge to be a valuable part of learning and assessment. Educators should reward, praise, and encourage the 13 dispositions in the classroom and assessment. Teachers deserve, and curriculum designers need, up-to-date education on the CT process to be able to teach it adequately and proficiently. Promote scientifically supported education on CT. Much credit to all of the sources and authors from which I reported on their work. For further information, please feel free to leave a note in the comments. If you found this video helpful or informative, please click the like button. If you want to see more videos on education and neuroscience, please subscribe. Thank you for watching.